right, you know what that music means, that hard rock and Madison Rising music. That means it's time for yet another episode of the soon-to-be award-winning Student of the Gun Radio. And thank you very much for joining us again this week. We are glad to be here. We are glad that you are out there, wherever out there happens to be. We've got a big week coming up. We had a big week last week. As many of you who follow our social media know, Jared and I have been working on getting into a new building, into a new Student of the Gun official studios. And we were out there. Go ahead.
Apparently, we don't like to sleep very much.
Yeah, we don't like to sleep. We're doing. And in addition to that, and that was Jared, by the way, my studio engineer and producer, and the man behind the curtain making all this stuff happen. Speaking of making stuff happen, if you guys are followers of Student of the Gun, if you are newsletter subscribers, and you should be, and if you're not, if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, at this moment in time, yes, it's you, that's who I'm talking to, and you have not signed up for the Student of the Gun newsletter because of whatever reason, you're out of excuses, stop doing it. Go to studentofthegun.com. Over on the right-hand side, you put in your first name, you put in your email address, you click send. It sends you a little email, and in your box it says, are you sure that you want to subscribe to the Student of the Gun newsletter? And you click yes, and you confirm that. And as soon as you confirm that, once you confirm it, you will get an autoresponder email that says welcome, and you're going to get in that email lots of really cool free stuff. And Jared's going to talk about one of the really cool free things that you get when you sign up for the newsletter. As soon as you like I said, as soon as you confirm it, what do you get, Jared? You get the
one box workout, and you can download that. It's basically you have a box of 50 rounds, and how can you use that box of 50 rounds to improve your skill?
Well, it's a skill maintenance drill is what it is, and we send it to you in a PDF format. So you can put it on your phone, you can put it on your smartphone or Android phone, your iPhone, whatever. Take it with you to the range and just open it up and follow the 1, 2, 3, 4, steps. If you are an old guy and you're not really confident with all that electronic gizmo stuff, you can have your grandson print it up for you, and you can take a paper copy with you to the range. But we've actually had, over the last couple of weeks, several people, several of you folks out there in the audience have sent us notes. You've sent us pictures of your targets, told us that you've been using the one box workout as a skill maintenance drill. And thank you very much for sharing that. Now, in addition to the one box workout free report, you also get links to exclusive training videos that only you get to see because you're a subscriber. And this week, Jared and I put together a survey, and some of you out there may have gotten it and you may not have completed it, and that's cool. And I know how you folks are. You're thinking, well, what's this survey thing all about? I don't want them to know about me. Well, what we're doing and what we've been doing for the last month or two is we've been preparing classes, preparing training, live training events for you out there in the Student of the Gun audience. And one of the things we wanted to make sure that we were doing is we wanted to make sure that we were catering to the audience, that we were actually providing you what it is you want. That's like marketing 101. You don't create a product that nobody wants, or at least you shouldn't create a product that nobody wants.
Unless you have a really good salesman that can make them think they want it.
Yeah, well, we're not selling snake oil here. We're not selling magic potions. And so what we did, Jared and I sat down, we crafted a really super simple survey. And essentially, it asks you, 5 or 6 questions. And the reason we sent that out is because we want to know what you're looking for in live training. Are you primarily concerned with shotgun training, rifle training, pistol training, less than lethal force training, traumatic medicine training? Are you willing to travel to get your training? Have you ever taken training before? Those things. And we're going to use the information that we get from the survey to kind of try and tailor make the material that we provide to you as an audience, to you as the student of the gun world. And that's the whole reason that that's there. So if you haven't opened it up, or you haven't checked your inbox here this week, take a moment and do that. Go into your inbox and say, oh, there's a thing that Jared sent me. And it's not just the survey, it's the weekly roundup. Jared sends you an email once a week, lets you know what's going on with the TV show, with the radio show, anything cool or neat or special going on with the Student of the Gun, either university or the store, or what the articles are. So check that out. It's studentofthegun.com. It's really super simple. You just go on there, sign up for the newsletter. And what else do they get, Jared? What do our subscribers get that nobody else gets?
They get, did you say the discount? They get an exclusive one-time offer discount. They get training material. They get deals in the email every week. They get, you're signed up for giveaways. You get, I got Dad over here playing charades with me.
Yeah, I'm giving him hints. Yeah, I wanted him to remember to tell you guys that when we do all of the cool stuff we do with our sponsors, the AK giveaway we just did, American AK. We've done Keltec shotguns, Keltec pistol. We did Diamondback pistols. We've done flashlights. We did the EOTech optics combo. We've given away a lot of stuff this last year, and we got more stuff that we're actually going to be giving away here in the near future. And if you are a dedicated subscriber to Student of the Gun, if you're an active subscriber, then you go to the front of the list, and that's just as easy as that.
And by active, he means opening the emails and sometimes clicking some stuff in there.
Yeah, that means signing up for the email or for the newsletter and actually opening it. And you're like, well, there's no way that Jared could know whether or not I was opening the email he sends me, is there?
Oh, actually, I know exactly how many times you open it and what you click. So
yeah, it's a whole modern world deal. You're like, I don't want people to know that I opened their email. Then I'll get on a list.
Well, usually what I do is I look and I see what people click. That way I know what you like, and I can send you more of that instead of stuff that you don't actually click on and like.
That's right. If you don't own a shotgun, there's kind of no point in us pushing shotgun training to you, right? Right. All right. Moving on. Speaking of sponsors and giveaways and all that cool stuff that we do, I'm here to tell you that we have a new sponsor for Student of the Gun Radio. Now, they've been with us as Student of the Gun for a long time. They've been friends of mine for decades, at least 10, 15 years or more, probably going close to 20 now. I've known the folks up in Montezuma, Iowa, the Brownells family. And Brownells has signed on as an official sponsor of Student of the Gun, Student of the Gun Radio specifically. They've been sponsoring the TV show for a while now, for a couple of years. And we want to welcome them to Student of the Gun Radio. Easy for me to say there. I'm so excited, Jared. Can you tell?
I can tell.
He can tell by the
he's
the
over
pace.
there. He's pacing back and forth while he's talking to you guys.
He's so excited. Well, and one of the really cool things that we've been working with Brownells kind of behind the scenes, and it hasn't happened yet, but it will very, very soon, is they're going to give us a special promo code that you guys can use when you go to brownells.com. To get a special deals and discounts and so forth. So make sure that you're listening each and every week to Student of the Gun Radio, because as this year progresses, as we move into the fall and the winter, we're going to be giving you exclusive discounts and deals. And let's face it, if you own a gun, you need Brownells. If you own a gun, there is something in the Brownells catalog for you. And if you own many guns, there are many things in the Brownells catalog for you. Now, we don't want to forget about our friends at Colt. Colt are the makers of the LE901 rifle. And we're going to be doing an in-depth feature of the LE901 rifle coming up on Student of the Gun TV. Now, that material, it's not available yet, but it will be very soon. So you want to pay attention to Student of the Gun TV and watch that. Jared's been working on TV material, and we've got, what do we have coming up for him this week that we can tease him with, Jared?
Speaking of Colt, we got the Combat Elite.
Oh, yeah, the Combat Elite 1911
Wait, I think
footage.
that's next week. I lied.
Yeah, I think it's next. Well, it's coming up. As they hear this, it's going to be available, right?
No. That's next week.
Well, it's actually
the Colt
Monday
Combat
the
Elite
30th.
will be a week from Monday the 30th.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he's a producer. He knows. So, and he's the editor, and he gets to decide, what goes in and what doesn't. So, but yeah, we've got stuff from Colt coming up very, very soon. Lots of good material for you guys. And we want to thank them for being a sponsor. Now, another sponsor of Student of the Gun we want to talk about is obviously Exit Sights. And every week, as you guys know, because we like to give you stuff, we just can't stop giving stuff away, can we, Jared?
We like to give stuff away.
We have this sickness where we feel the need to give our fans and students free stuff every week.
I think our fans are down with this sickness.
Are they down with that sickness? Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, why don't you tell them, the fans, who are Excess Sights good guy?
Our Excess Sights good guy of the week is Jesus from Ohio, and he says, what do you suggest is the best way of getting your spouse on board with daily carry of a firearm? She can't really articulate why she is resistant to the idea.
That is, we've been kind of, this isn't the first time we've gotten an email or a letter or a quandary about my wife, my girlfriend, what have you, is not down with the firearms, is not down with the concealed carry, and how do I get her to? Now, and the reason that I haven't addressed it up until this point is because, quite frankly, I'm not a woman, and I don't claim to know what goes on inside of the minds of women. And but, a lot of guys, a lot of men, a lot of husbands have, now if it's a boyfriend situation, here's the deal, dude. You need to man up and be a man. If she's not your wife, if she's your girlfriend, she doesn't get to tell you what you can and can't do. Are we down with that? Well, but shut up. Man up. If it's your girlfriend and she doesn't like guns, it's time to look for another woman. Now, go ahead.
So is Jesus asking how to get the spouse to carry, or the spouse is being okay with you carrying?
Well, I think this is getting the spouse on board with daily carry of a firearm. Originally, when I read that, I was thinking that she wasn't down with him carrying a gun. But now that I reread it, he might be saying that she's not down with her carrying a gun. And they kind of go hand. They kind of go hand in hand.
I would say address both of those.
Yeah. All right. Step number one: if she's not down with you carrying, then you need to really sit down and ask her and say, what do you think we should do in the event of X? Well, call 911. Okay. If you're a dedicated student of the gun, you have a whole entire 3-ring binder full of 911 failures. And you say, okay, that's not an answer. And I would say to the spouse, say, do we have a fire extinguisher in the kitchen? Well, yeah. Why? Because you're reckless and you don't know how to use the stove? I know how to use the stove. I'm not reckless. Well, then why do you have a fire extinguisher? Well, just in case. Just in case of an emergency, right? So that's pretty easy. Or, ask your spouse, say, do you know CPR and the Heimlich maneuver? Well, yeah. Why? Well, that's just a responsible thing to do. Any responsible citizen should know CPR and the Heimlich maneuver. Why? Well, in case there's an emergency, and in case there's an emergency. That's why you carry a gun. Now, getting the wife to carry a gun, that is a tough nut to crack.
Good luck.
Well, I'll say good luck because you as the husband, and here's the deal, and I basically have the solution for you. You as the husband are a moron. Okay, you know that, right? When it comes to, it doesn't matter. Albert Einstein had a wife, and I feel very, very certain that at some point in their marriage, she looked at him and said, some genius you are, you can't even remember to take out the trash. Okay? A prophet is never respected in his own home, and it doesn't matter what you do. I do this for a living. I've been doing this for a living. I've been a gun person, an instructor, a gun carrier, my whole entire adult life. But I'm not a professional gun person to my wife. I'm the knucklehead who forgot to tell her that we had an appointment on Wednesday, and she just found out Wednesday morning. I'm that guy. So how do you get your wife? You say, I have a wife, and I know she needs to be carrying, and she doesn't not like it. She agrees with guns, but she just won't carry. Here's what you do. You get her into a class. You get her into a training school, and you send her without you. You're like, oh, no, I'm going to go with her, and I'm going to be right there with her. And I'm like, stop yourself. That is the worst possible thing you can do. Oh, no, I care about. Dude, stop. She doesn't look at you as the guy who's all-knowing. She looks at you as the knucklehead that she tolerates because she just loves you for whatever reason. What you want to do, and this is a great example of this. My wife, when she wanted to get her concealed carry permit, we were living in Ohio, right? I've told this story, but I'm going to tell it again because it's an important story. And in Ohio, you have to have so many hours of certified training to get your permit. So being an instructor, being a police officer, being a person who does what I do, I could have given her the class, but that would have been the stupidest thing I could have done because she would have either A, been bored, not listened to me, or been, laughing at me. You can't teach your wife self-defense either because she'll laugh at you when you do it. But so what I did is I went and I researched and I found a guy in our local area that I trusted, that I knew was a good dude, had a solid reputation. And I took her there, introduced him, paid the fee, and left. And that's what you need to do, guys. It's not about you. It's about her. So find somewhere. I don't care where you go. Find a guy that you trust that has a good reputation, a school that you trust that has a good reputation, and send your spouse there. Send them to an armed living class, even if it's just something simple like Pistol 101, or if they're your wife or girlfriend, if they know their way around a gun, they just won't carry one. Send them to something like ballistic problem solving, thinking with a gun, that kind of a deal. Fighting pistol up in Camden, or TDI or whatever. But get them into a class, and this is what's going to happen. They're going to go to this class, they're going to go to this school, and they're going to come back to you, and they're going to be all excited. And they're going to tell you about all the stuff that they learned. And you're going to look at them and you're going to smile and you're going to laugh because they're going to tell you a lot of the stuff that you've already told them, that you've already talked about, that you've already discussed. That's what my wife did. She went to this class. She came home. She goes, oh, he said I should do this and I should do this and I should do this. And I'm like, I told you that 10 years ago. I don't remember you ever saying that. So, Jesus, brother, there is your answer. If you really want them to be excited about it, if you want them to be, down with the sickness, you want them to be down with carrying a gun, with understanding why you carry a gun, quit banging your head against the wall and try to do it yourself. If it's important to you, and it's your wife because she's going to want you to pay for it, right? That's just the way it works. Go ahead and write me letters. I dare you to write me letters and tell me that's not true. Okay. Pay for the course, sign her up, take her, send her to the course, and let her do it. And then she'll come back and she'll be like, oh, you wouldn't believe what they told me, and I never thought about it like this before, and so forth. And you're just going to be able to smile and say, okay, mission accomplished.
And Dad he covered what if you're a husband trying to get your wife to carry? If you're a wife and you're trying to get your spouse to carry, you also have a wife and you need to find a husband.
Oh, Jared just dropped that one on you. You need to do the sound effect like the Bugs Bunny there. You need to cue that sound effect up. Oh, well, speaking of when it comes to the metrosexual or the man-child or whatever you want to call it, we've got a vagination report for you. Jared, hit it.
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
All right, thank you to our friend Tiny Tim for giving us that vagination report. We always appreciate it. Yeah, this one, now this isn't really gun related, so if you freak out every time I talk about something that is not gun related, you might want to go ahead and wrap your head with duct tape just right now in 3, 2. All right. This comes to us from thedailycaller.com and says, title, School District looks to birthday cakes for new and exciting thing to ban. That's right. A school district in the suburbs of Seattle has outlawed birthday cakes and other birthday sweets from all elementary school parties. The ban is part of a broader set of wellness and nutrition policies by the Edmonds School District, where officials are blaming new federal wellness guidelines, says the report from Seattle. Okay, so here we go. Not only do we have the public school Nazis deciding that no longer are you allowed to bring birthday cakes or cupcakes or cookies or anything in to celebrate your little crumb cruncher's birthday. They did it, but they want to pass the blame and say, well, it's not our fault. It's the federal wellness guidelines' fault. Well, I don't care whose fault it is. You're all a bunch of morons and you need to stop yourselves. And this whole zero tolerance, it's not my fault, it's not my responsibility, I'm just following the rules is bull crap. And I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of the public school system, or any school system for that matter, deciding that it knows better than the parents how to raise the children. Are you kidding me? Let's say, how many of you have little crumb crunchers out there? Little young skulls full of mush. Most of you, half of you, whatever. So your little 7-year-old has a little birthday party, little Jimmy, little Susie, whatever, and you want to take little birthday cupcakes in for each kid. Oh, you can't do that now because they might die from eating the cupcake. Well, dude, it's not up to the school to determine how the children eat. That's up to the parent. And you're like, oh, that's right. You can't even send, in some school districts, you as the parent are not even allowed to send your own school lunch with your kid. How many times have we seen that? Parents pack a lunch for their kid, and the school lunchroom Nazis have taken the lunches away from the kids and forced them to eat tater tots and, whatever, French fries and ketchup and hot dogs. Or
my question is, what kind of adult in the United States would actually go through with taking the lunches away from the kids or enforcing the stupidity?
You've got some sick, twisted adults. You have some sick, twisted humans in this country. And we got a quote here from it's one of the parents. It says, it's not necessarily the school district's job to control that, meaning what they eat, and to take it away from everyone, said parent Marcus Sheldon. It's overreaching. You think? You think it's overreaching? Folks, if you're just now waking up to the fact that the public school system, or any school system, charter, private, whatever, has decided on its own that you as a parent are a moron and you can't be trusted to feed your kids, to tell your kids what to think and how to think, that's not your job. You're just supposed to house them, feed them what the state tells you to feed them, and then send them off to these little indoctrination centers so they can get their minds right. It's crap, and you need to take control of your school districts. Well, you don't understand, Paul. I can't. Oh, you can't? Or you and your fellow parents won't.
And if you work in a school that's like this, stand up. Don't enforce the stupidity. Oh, but I might lose my job.
Oh,
well, sometimes your job
easy.
Isn't the most important thing. But
you mean principals?
Yeah.
Are more important?
I would assume, but I guess I'm different than everybody else.
Oh, you just don't understand.
Did you see what the spokeswoman said?
Oh, go ahead and read it to me, and then
Spokeswoman DJ Jackala suggested that the district concluded that too much cake could cause the kids to act up.
How much cake are they giving these kids?
So, but
they're like giving them each their own cake.
Their substitute. They said, rather than pieces of cake or cupcakes, district bureaucrats say students can now enjoy pencils or perhaps handmade cards. So what if they take the pencils and they start
twirling them?
Yeah.
In a menacing, twirling it like a gun. And then we have to send them to the psychiatrist and have them evaluated because they were twirling the pencil like a gun. Well, are we surprised by anything that happens in Seattle? No, we're not. We pretty much lost that. A buddy of mine called it recently. He referred to as Portland and Seattle as the California annexed territory, as annexed California hippie liberal territory. So, folks, Yeah, just one more vagination report to you there from the Seattle School District. We thought you would enjoy that. Now, don't forget, and I'm going to remind you so you don't forget, that each and every week after the show airs, after you've listened to it, Jared takes all these links from thedailycaller.com and whomever, whichever one you like, puts them up there. So when you're sharing them and when you're talking about them with your friends, they're like, "Oh, I don't believe that. That's a bunch of right-wing conservative propaganda. There's no way a school district would take away cupcakes from kids because that would be wrong." I say, well, apparently this story is a lie then, and share it with them. All right, let's move into the meat of the episode. We wanted to get the frivolity out of the way there. We wanted to get our little vagination report out of the way because we know you guys like that, and we like providing it for you. But let's talk about the title of this week's episode, and that would be UN disarmament jobs. Really? ? It's not a conspiracy if it's actually happening. And we get this directly from www.un, that's uniformnovember.org/disarmament. Well, they have job listings on the UN's website. Now, remember, we as the weak-willed, spineless United States of America have decided to let these third world despots set up shop here in the United States, here in New York. We've allowed them to do that because we apparently are linguini-spined pansies, and we can't stand up to these third world puke faces and tell them, no, sorry, go back to your own country and fix it. Because let's face it, most of these puke-faced turds that go to the UN and get up on their high horses on the floor and talk about, you in America need to do this and that and the other, go back to their home country and examine it for a second. Look at the poverty and the disease and the corruption that's going on in their little third world despot country. And then come back to me and tell me how we need to fix America. I'm tired of hearing it, and you're probably tired of hearing it as well. But right here on careers.un.org, what do we have, Jared? We have third one down. We have
listen closely to the title of this job.
The title of this professional or higher category. It's under professional and higher categories on the UN Careers homepage is disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration officer.
And where is that? That's obviously going to be like over
in
not
Ghana
here.
Or something,
yeah.
or Niger or whatever. No, let me see. The duty station for the disarmament and reintegration officer is New York.
And what's the deadline for this?
Well, the deadline, the posting for this job was 26/7/2014. Now, for those of you that don't read universal date speak, that's July 26, 2014. You have until then, if you would like to be a UN disarmament and reintegration officer, you have until the 26th of July to get your application in there. And this falls under the Department of Peacekeeping Operations of the UN. And we're like, what? No, come on. And I know you guys out there, I know you reasonable people, I know you folks out there, for years, your crazy neighbors, your whack job neighbors who are against the UN, and you're like, I don't see what my neighbor's problem is with the UN. I mean, they have good intentions. They want to feed the world. They want to stop disease. They want to enforce peace by, edict. They really have the best of intentions. So I don't know why my crazy neighbors don't, they're not down with the UN. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're just new to the party, the UN is a collection of third world despots who would have no voice in the world were it not for this collection of morons in New York. And as I said, the United States, when it comes to cash and money, we foot the bill for the UN. We gave them that place in New York, which is disgusting. And you think, well, then we're in charge and we can, do what we want and say what we want. Not so much, really. What we see is we have linguini spine, lurch-looking people like John Kerry who will go to the UN and tell them, yeah, okay, we'll do what you say. Oh, you want to... don't forget that the UN's Small Arms Treaty, and the Small Arms Treaty was designed to prevent small arms, ammunition, and firearms components and parts. We're not talking about ICBMs and artillery and fighter jets and tanks. We're talking about guns that you hold in your hand and the ammunition that goes in them. You're like, well, big deal. I don't care. Who cares if the UN restricts the trade of small arms? Well, I don't know. Have you gone to Walmart lately or the Academy Outdoors? You go in there and what do you see on the shelves? You see that really inexpensive 7.62 by 39, 9mm, 45, 223, whatever, from Wolf or from Tula ammo or from someplace in Serbia or Croatia or whatever. Yeah, guess what? All that inexpensive ammunition that you like to buy and take out to the range and practice with, that is all part of the International Small Arms Trade Treaty. Well, but you're telling me that the UN wants the signatory nations to ban the trade and import and export of that? Yeah, that's what it says. Go to their own stupid webpage and read it. Now, folks, it's not a conspiracy if it's actually happening right in front of your face. And what you guys need to ask yourselves is this, who gave the UN the authority to ban anything? Who gave them the authority to regulate and control anything? Oh, well, the world body. Well, the world, each country, you know, this whole, there's this crazy notion that goes back about 2,000, 3,000 years or so, that you have sovereign states, and within each sovereign state, you have a ruling government body, and they decide what their laws are, who's in charge, and so forth. And they have borders, and they make the laws that apply to the people within their borders. And yeah, I know it's a crazy concept. But here we have the United Nations that, and let's face it, every time they come up with one of these plans, these plots to make the world a safer place by imposing their will, the people that are really, really the bad guys, the Irans, the Yemens, the Libyas, and so forth, they just decide, no, we're not going to play. We're not going to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I just, you're like, well, what can I do about it? Well, number one, buy guns and ammo. Number two, the UN only has the power that the United States government gives them. You understand that? They have no power without our cooperation. If our president and our Senate and our Congress don't cooperate and go along with them, they have no power. They're a toothless tiger. And you say, well, good. Yeah, good, except what? What do we have up in D.C. right now? We have a bunch of sycophants. We have a bunch of people who feel that they're part of the ruling class and you peasants need to just shut up and do what you're told. And then they go ahead and sign these trade agreements, these disarmament agreements, and look out at you and say, oh, it's not us. It's not us. We're not trying to ban your guns. It's the United Nations. You're like, yeah, but you agreed to it. Well, yeah, we might have agreed to it in principle, but that's just the right thing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're out there and you're like, UN conspiracy this, conspiracy that. Well, here's the good news. You want to know the good news, Jared? Do you want to know the good news?
What's the good news?
The good news is that I've seen quote-unquote UN peacekeepers in action. I know that the United States of America has, and I know my Russian friends are they're gonna give me the stink eye on this one, but I know that we have the most hardcore people and hardcore trained people in the world, and the most professional as well. So I'm not really afraid of UN peacekeeping troops. I'm not afraid that guys in white trucks with blue helmets are going to roll up in front of my house and come out. I'm not really afraid of that at all. I don't think that's going to happen, and I think it'd be the worst thing possible for them if it did happen. What I do see is them by legislative fiat just screwing over the American gun owner by curtailing the availability of inexpensive ammo, of imported guns, and so forth. I mean, they Comrade Barry's already screwed us on the whole M1 Garand thing.
And everything that has happened thus far it's honestly because we've let it happen. Not us in specific, but the American people have allowed it to happen.
You mean the American people are more worried about their creature comforts and some kind of a you want me to say it?
Yeah.
A game played by sodomites and women, and they're all distracted by that, and so they don't know, they can't even stand up for themselves because they're distracted like a bunch of spastic squirrels, like squirrels with ADD.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But pay attention to this specific story, what's going on with this the UN deal, and see because why are they even in New York? Why is this coming?
Why do we? Because we allow it. Well, because we haven't told our government that we're not going to put up with it anymore. Because the ruling class has looked out at the peasantry and said, "You guys just need to shut up. We know what's best for you." The oligarchy has decided. Now here we go. This next one, Jared. Where did we find this story? It was actually sent to us or shared with us by one of our fans or friends, and it's about the Target story. You guys remember Target? And it was in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and they found a loaded gun in the toy aisle of a Target. And people started freaking out. And the moms demand, you know them, we talked about them last week, the moms demand more bedroom action because apparently they're not getting enough and they got all this time on their hands. They demanded more gun control because that would have stopped this from happening. But Jared, what did we learn about the person that they caught, that they found on video, that stashed this gun in the toy area, the toy aisle of Texas? What did we learn about him?
Oh, you mean that he was a convicted felon that was not allowed to own a gun?
Oh, you mean, now hang on. What you're telling me, what you expect me to believe, Jared, is that a convicted felon who is by law not able to buy, possess, or carry a gun is the person who had a gun on him and basically, you know what, this is what seems to me, I think this guy thought he was about to get busted. This is what criminals do. This is why they don't wear holsters. You guys know criminals don't wear holsters, right? Why don't criminals wear holsters?
Why would that be?
Criminals don't wear holsters. My buddy Dave Douglas told me he was a 25, I'm sorry, Dave, it was either 25 or 30 years with San Diego PD. And Dave said, in my whole law enforcement career, busting bad guys, he said, I never once arrested a crook, a criminal, a scumbag that had a holster attached to their body. And he said, I never even thought about it until I actually retired. And it made sense because if a crook's got a gun on him, he's got in his pocket, his waistband, his whatever, and he thinks he's about to get pinched. He thinks the popo, the 5-0, is around the corner. What does he do with the gun? He stashes it, right? He dumps it. He sticks it in a garbage can, sticks it on a toy shelf in Target, dumps it so that if he gets pinched, he's clean. Well, they're smart enough to know that if they have a holster on, if this dude has, a $100 Galco speed scabbard or whatever on his body, and he gets pinched and the holster's empty, the police are going to, they're not that dumb. They're like, little Johnny Scumbag's got a holster on, but there's no gun in it. Where's your gun, Johnny Scumbag? And they're going to search for it. But if they pinch him and he's got nothing on him, what are they going to do? They're going to search the whole town for the gun that this guy might have dumped? They don't know. And so what I would say, what probably happened with Johnny Scumbag in this story right here is he thought he was about to get pinched by store security or by undercovers or something, and he dumped the gun and moved and got out. But what do we know by this story? Well, we know that the ninnies and the screeching harpies in the Moms Demand More Bedroom Action movement, which is just a front for Nanny Bloomberg. Don't fool yourself. That's where they get their money from. That maybe they don't know what the heck they're talking about. Could that be it? Maybe more gun control laws would have never stopped this from happening.
Well, if the citizens can get guns, then the criminals are obviously, that's where they get them, because citizens don't, they're corrupt.
Right. So
as if the state's not.
Well, so what we need to do is we need to restrict the liberty of the law abiding in order to stop the behavior of the criminal. Is that where we're going with this?
Well, I thought only cops were supposed to have guns. Then
that's right. Only the state should be allowed to have guns.
Yeah, then criminals wouldn't get them.
Oh, dude. Do we have the Australia story
I was just about to say, well, how'd that work in Australia?
Oh, please tell me we have the Australia story in here.
I don't think.
Did we do the Australia story last week?
No.
We ran out of time.
Did we?
We didn't do it. I think we ran out of time. We didn't do it. Oh, man.
We're speaking of running out of time. We're coming up on 40 minutes right now. So.
Okay. Well, all right. So what do we know about Moms Demand More Bedroom Action?
They don't know what they're talking about.
They need to shut up because they don't know what they're talking about. And they're a bunch of hypocrites. They're a bunch of useful tools that are funded by Nanny Bloomberg, who thinks you, the peasant, he's part of the ruling class. You understand that. And you peasants need to just shut up and do what you're told and surrender your guns and be good little tax slaves. That is the moral of that story. The last one we want to talk about, I'm going to hit this one before we close out, Jared, because I titled this one in the show notes, Better Late Than Never. And it seems that our non-friends at the Boston Globe, not blog, the bostonglobe.com, it says, gun controversy lost on new shooting stars. While adults take sides on the propriety and safety of firearms, competitive marksmanship is a growing draw for children and teens who find satisfaction in the discipline a bullseye requires. Wow. So essentially, this is an online story, bostonglobe.com, and it's got a picture of little Johnny Crumb Cruncher there shooting a little .22 rifle. And dude, you got the show notes open? Do you have the story open? This kid has an evil. Oh, you see that? Open the story, Jared.
The story's open, but I see.
You see the little Crumb Cruncher?
Yeah, he's got a pistol.
Look next to him on the table, and what do you see?
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong with that gun?
It's black.
No. What else is wrong with it? How do you feed a gun like that?
With a magazine.
Can you put a magazine in that gun?
Look real close. I gotta enlarge my picture. Hold on.
It's one of those slave state rifles that have been specially modified so that it can accept an evil detachable standard capacity magazine.
Well, at least it's got the EOTech on the right way.
Well, at least they put the EOTech on right. But anyway, folks, we thought we kind of chuckle at this because we've been. Obviously, that we support the 4-H shooting sports program and all youth shooting sports programs, but specifically the 4-H one because we've been involved with it. I have for about 15 years now. All my kids went through 4-H shooting sports, and they've all graduated from it now. But Jared was involved for, 10 years? Something like that, from age 10 to 19 or what have you. And we believe that if you guys want to get your kids involved in the shooting sports, if you're like, man, I want to get my kid involved in it, but I don't know how to do it, find a 4-H program near you. Do it. And we just find it funny when people like, this reporter at the Boston Globe, apparently Sally Jacobs just discovered the popularity of the shooting sports amongst children, amongst kids, amongst the youth. Dude, I could have told you that 15, 20 years ago. Kids love the shooting sports. They love, and not just bullseye, but they love the shotgun sports, action pistol. Some of the most popular, actually the most popular sport right now in the 4-H shooting sports is shotgun, and second to that is their new program called action pistol. And if you watch Student of the Gun, if you're a dedicated television follower, last season, we did several segments which highlighted the 4-H shooting sports program and the Ohio 4-H shooting education camp that they have every single year up there. And if you want to support them, we really think you should. We think you should support 4-H shooting sports. And you're like, yeah, but I don't know how, or I don't know why, or where I would go. Go to studentofthegunradio.com. It's that simple. Just go to studentofthegunradio.com. And up there in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little picture of the National 4-H shooting sports symbol and the Midway Foundation symbol. Click on it, and you can make a donation to the 4-H shooting sports program. That money will go directly towards buying gear and ammunition and so forth for the shooting sports program. Let me tell you what. I've been there. I've done that. If you trust Professor Paul, if you trust my word, I can tell you that the folks up in Ohio at the shooting education camp, they're getting ready to host. They just had a junior camp. They're getting ready to host a senior camp up there where they'll probably have right around 200 teenagers from all over the state and even the surrounding states come in and spend an entire week doing archery and black powder muzzleloading, doing shotgun sports, rifle sports, pistol sports, having a great time learning to safely and effectively appreciate firearms. And, they can't do it without support from you and I. And if you're like, hey, Paul, I'm sold, I want to help them, fantastic. Just go to that link, go to the Midway USA Foundation, and you can make a donation, make a $25 donation, $50, $10, whatever. And the great thing about that foundation is anything you donate will be matched 100% by Larry and Brenda Potterfield. So that's awesome. You give them $25, Larry and Brenda match it. Actually, they match it by 200%. So you give them $25, they add another $50 to that. So you just generated a $75 donation to the shooting sports program. How cool is that? Pretty darn cool. Okay, folks, you know where to watch the TV show, right? Watch it on Dish Network, channel 266, Monday nights at 9 p.m. There's new shows up every week now. We'll be going into a rerun season soon, but right now, all the shows, new material, fresh material for all you guys out there who've been screaming for it. We've got the Wilderness TV, Roku, and Apple TV app that you can watch us on. Don't forget about the mobile app for your iPhone and your Android phone. What else, Jared? He's got something. He got a look on his face like he wants to say something. I just wanted to remind you guys to wear your seatbelts, don't run with scissors, and drink your milk. There you go. That's great advice. Wear your seatbelt, don't run with scissors, drink milk. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to XS Sights. Thank you to Colt, makers of the LE901 rifle. And thank you to our newest sponsor, Brownells. Check them out at brownells.com. Or if you're feeling froggy, just go to studentofthegun.com, and we've got an official Brownells store that's just one tab click away. Is that correct, Jared?
Yes, sir. It is one tab click away. All right, we're going to take a break, get Jared some more coffee so that he can wake up. And don't forget, you're a beginner once, but you should be a student for life.